Hello all, welcome back to NEET World. Today we are going to solve RE-NEET 2026 Zoology paper. Are you ready? Right, we'll start. Now, see the first question they asked is the number of one minute. The number of vertebrae in a human is how many number they are asking. So we have cervical vertebrae, we have thoracic vertebrae, we have lumbar vertebrae, and we have coaxial region. So all these things we can combine. You can say this is 26 vertebrae because it is 7, here it is 12. So they gave two options like 7 is there, 12 is there, 26 is there. 206, you can remove this 206 option very clearly because it is bones. And coming to this 7 and 12, this is cervical vertebrae and thoracic vertebrae. This 26 is the correct option. 26 vertebrae are present in human. Understand? Right. In frog, see in frog, in water, frog respires using what? In water, frog respires. Exchange of gases happens with what? With what, friends? Skin. In water, frog respires through skin. Whereas this buccal cavity, lungs and trachea, was helpful in, friends, land. Whenever the frog which is present in land, then it is utilizing this buccal cavity, lungs and trachea. But if it is present in water, it will use its skin. Understand this question? The option is skin. Here the option is 26. Right. Third question, which of the following is not, they are asking, which of the following is not a part of human central neural system? They are asking not a part of human central neural system. You see, arachnoid, durameter, pyometer. If you see these three, what these are? These are layers of brain. So the brain is covered by three meninges. This is the outer layer, and this is the middle layer, this is the inner layer. So these three are the layers which covers the brain. Whereas coming to this pericardium, you see this pericardium is not at all involved in human central nervous system. This is involved in heart. It covers the heart. Pericardium is covering the heart. So the answer is what, friends? Pericardium is the correct option. Right? Next question. The number of action potential generated by the sinoatrial node, which is also called as SAN, in a human health is dash beats per minute. They are asking simply how many beats? 70 to 75 beats. 70 to 75 beats per minute. So first questions are very simple questions. 4 questions are very simple. Right? Understand 4 questions answers. Right. We'll move to next one. Which of the following statements related to pituitary gland are correct? They are asking about endocrinology. So they gave pituitary gland. They are asking what are the correct statements. We'll see. It is divided anatomically into adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis. Is it right? So if you see hypothalamus, from this hypothalamus infundibulum is coming, and now this pituitary gland is divided into 2 parts. One is anterior pituitary, one is posterior pituitary. In this anterior pituitary is also called as what? Adenohypophysis, whereas this posterior pituitary is also called as what? Neurohypophysis. From this posterior pituitary, what are the hormones that are there? Oxytocin and vasopressin. And here all remaining hormones such as follicular stimulating hormone, yes, FSH, is secreting from this anterior pituitary such as adenohypophysis. It secretes what, friends? Melanocyte stimulating hormones, yes, MSH is going to secrete from this. And also you see, it does not secrete prolactin. They are giving that prolactin is not secreting from this pituitary gland. Is it? No, prolactin is also secreting. So here the fourth option is wrong option. The fourth one is not correct. So the correct statements are what? A, B, C. So the answer is option 2. Understand? Understand option 2? Now, which of the following represents correct sequence of arrangement of bones in lower limb? Right? So they were asking the sequence of arrangement of bones in the lower limb. Starting with what? Starting always, you know, right? Femur. In this femur, two bones are connected, and these two bones are joined by what means? Patella. And this is femur. And here the one bone is called as tibia. And there you have tarsals and all the legs, phalanges, all these things. So the option is what? Femur, patella, tibia and tarsal is the option for this question. Understand? So the answer is option 3, right? So the next one, they are telling about this invertebrates. When any plane passing through the central axis of the body divides the organism into two identical halves, which are also called as what? Equal halves. It is called as what symmetry? Radial symmetry. Is it true? Yes. The best example is Hydra. If you cut the Hydra in any plane, you will get two equal halves. Coelentrates. So in coelentrates, what kind of symmetry is there? Radial symmetry is there. So this is absolutely correct statement. Now coming to this second statement, in phylum Echinodermata, they are telling, in phylum Echinodermata, both adults and larvas are radial symmetry. Is it true? Is it true? Both adults and larvals are radial symmetry. Is it true? No, it is wrong statement. Why it is wrong statement? Adults are bilateral symmetry, whereas adults are radial symmetry, whereas larvae are bilateral symmetry, right? Adults are what? Radial symmetry, whereas larvae are what? Bilateral symmetry. This question, this simple concept we were discussed many times in our classes and mock test also. So exact statement they gave, statement 2 is incorrect, because adult shows radial symmetry, larvae shows bilateral symmetry. So the option is statement 1 is correct, whereas statement 2 is incorrect. Understand why the option 2 is statement 2 is incorrect? Adult are radial symmetry, whereas larvals are bilateral symmetry. Understand? Perfect. Right. Now coming to this Hadley-Weinberg question. I think this was the first time they have asked a population of diploid organism, nothing, at Hadley-Weinberg equilibrium. They are following Hadley-Weinberg equilibrium. If the frequency of allele A is 0.1, then what is the frequency of AA? So you need to remember the two equations such as P plus Q is equal to 1, the first equation, P square plus 2PQ plus Q square is equal to 1. This is second equation. This is what representing allelic frequency. This is what representing xenotypic frequency. Here they gave P. They are asking what? P square. It is very simple. If we know at least one of this P, you can find P square, 2PQ, Q square, Q1, each and everything you can easily calculate. So from P they are asking what? P square. So P is what here? 0.1. Then P square is nothing but 0.1 whole square. What is that? 0.01. So very simple question, just square it, 0.1 square, that is 0.01 answer. Is there any doubts? No, right? So that is the formula you should remember for Hadley-Weinberg equilibrium. Next, which of the following structures, see, not a part of male reproductive system? Which of the following structures are not a part of male reproductive system? We'll see. Rete testis, is a male reproductive system. It's a part of male reproductive system. Epididymis, yes. Vas efferentia, vas differentia, right? Everything was the part of male reproductive system. Whereas coming to this infundibulum, is male reproductive system? No. It is what? It is female reproductive system. Female reproductive system. Infundibulum, ampulla, all these fallopian tubes, isthmus region, all these parts of what? Fallopian tube, which is involved in female reproductive system. So the answer is what? Infundibulum here. It is not a part of male reproductive system. Understand? Right. So the next question we'll see, which of the following statements are incorrect? They are asking what? Which of the following statements are incorrect? We'll see. Blood coagulates in response to an injury. See, it is right. Whenever we get injury, what happens after few seconds or few minutes? The blood will coagulate, right? It's absolutely correct statement. And blood clot contains what? Fibrins, right? In this clot, what happens? These fibrins will be present. From where these fibrins are produced? This fibrinogen is converted into fibrin. So that was the correct. So here they mentioned fibrinogen is produced from fibrin. It is not correct. Fibrinogen is not produced from fibrin. Fibrin is produced from fibrinogen. So their option is answer 4. Understand? Now, which of the following statement is incorrect? Again, they are asking which of the following statement is incorrect. You should read each and every statement, then only you can able to answer very clearly, right? So it is related to the pancreas cells. There are two cells like alpha cells, beta cells, right? Alpha cells of pancreas secreting what? Glucagon. Is it correct? Yes, alpha cells is going to secrete glucagon, beta cells is going to secrete insulin. You see, they gave alpha cells of pancreas secrete insulin. Is it right? No, right? So beta cells of pancreas secreting insulin. Beta cells of pancreas is secreting insulin. Let's see third option. Glucagon stimulates glycogen lysis. If you see the definition of this thing, lysis is nothing but breakdown. Glycogen. So here what happens? Glycogen is going to break down to form what? Glucose. So whenever in our body the blood glucose level fall down, what happen? Glycogen is going to break down into glucose. This process is called as glycogenolysis. This process is under control of what? Glucagon. Understand? Glucagon will release from alpha cells, then it stimulates, it breaks down this glycogen and forms this glucose. Understand? So exactly opposite function is insulin. Whenever the glucose levels are very high, then what happens? Insulin will release. Insulin is convert this glucose into glucagon. Right? Understand? That was the option for this. Option 2 is wrong statement. Understand this question? Right. Next, see. No doubts, right? Which of the following is not which of the following is not a characteristics of chordates? They are asking not a character of chordate. You see, presence of notochord. Presence of notochord is a characteristic feature. That's why we are calling it as chordates. Otherwise, we can call it as notochords, right? Like notochord is also notochord is present in chordates, right? Next, central nervous system is dorsal. It's absolutely correct statements. In non-chordates, what? This central nervous system is present in ventral portion. Whereas in chordates, this central nervous system is present on dorsal portion. Understand? And presence of post-anal tail is also exact characteristic feature of what? Chordates. Coming to the option 3, if you see, they are telling that absence of gills. Is it absence of gills? No, right? The characteristic property is presence of gills or gill slits. That was the characteristic. Here options of the gills is not a characteristic property of chordate. So here the option 3 is not a characteristics of chordates. So the answer is absence of gills. Understand these 3 questions. Is there any doubt? No, right? We'll continue. Next, again from this chordates question, they gave the class name called Reptilia. They are telling that refers to creeping or crawling mode of locomotion. Refers to what? Creeping or crawling mode of locomotion. Yes, because of the creeping and crawling, we are calling it as Reptilia. Done. And all organisms belongs to this Reptilia have what? 3-chambered heart. Really, is it true? Is it true? Just think, all organisms belongs to Reptilia having 3-chambered heart. Even though Reptilia having 3-chambered heart, there is exception, right? There is exception such as crocodile. It is having what, friends? 4-chambered heart. So here it is not all organisms, few or exceptions are there. So definitely statement 2 is wrong statement, statement 1 is correct statements. The statement 1 is correct, whereas statement 2 is incorrect. Understand? Statement 2 is incorrect. Now, next, moving to next question. The method of directly of injecting a sperm into ovum. So here we are doing something. We are injecting sperm into what? Egg. This process is done by what? Artificial reproductive technology, ART, artificial reproductive technology. In this ART, this process is called as what? They gave 4 options. They are telling that gamete intrafallopian transfer. Here they are telling that they are transferring gametes. We are not transferring gamete. Even though we are transferring this sperm gamete to where? Into intrafallopian. We are not transferring into the fallopian tube. We are directly injecting into where? Egg. Now, this is wrong. Zygote intrafallopian transfer. We are not transferring any zygote. We are transferring only one male gamete into female gamete. Next, embryo transfer. We are not transferring any embryo. This is also wrong statement. These 3 also wrong statement. So the correct option is we are injecting the sperm. This is called a sperm injection. Intracytoplasmic sperm injection is the correct option for this question. Is there any doubts? No doubts, right? Intracytoplasmic sperm injection is the correct option for this question. It's a very simple question. Now again few simple questions, direct statement questions. We'll see. In frog, they are asking, in frog, how many number of cranial nerves are there? How many number of pairs of cranial nerves? They are asking pairs of cranial nerves. Some people will go with option 12 because they think in frogs it is advanced character, so that's why they definitely 12. Absolutely wrong. The number of pairs of cranial nerves are what? 10. Just remember, amphibians having how many? 10 pairs of cranial nerves, right? Understand? Next one, the inactive form of Bt toxin is converted into active form in insect gut is due to what? Why it is converting into inactive to active? See, whenever it is in that condition, it is inactive. Because if it is active, the organism, the living thing will be die. So this inactive, whenever it is transforming to active form, such as if this is insect, if it is insect, if this Bt toxin was eaten, the plant was eaten by this insect, then this toxin was entered into this insect. Now insect, there is a pH condition. What is that pH condition? Due to alkaline pH. Due to alkaline pH, this inactive form of Bt toxin is converting into what, friends? active form of Bt toxin. It is not done by any proteases. We are not cutting any proteins. We are not cutting any nucleases. We are doing what? Because of the presence of this alkaline pH, this inactive form of Bt toxin is going to convert into active form. Understand? Very straightforward question from this NCERT. Next, which of the following diseases is not sexually transmitted disease? Which of the following is not sexually transmitted? The options are what? You see, syphilis, tuberculosis, gonorrhea, genital warts. What is the option? Tuberculosis, because it is not sexually transmitted disease. These three, syphilis, gonorrhea, genital warts, are sexual transmitted disease. This is a direct statement, whereas tuberculosis is not sexually transmitted disease. Understand? Understand, right? Next, sperm motility is due to, if you observe sperm, head is there, neck, middle piece, from there you can see a tail like structure. This is what, friends? This is tail, which is like flagella. Which is what? Flagella. You see, the sperm motility is due to ciliary movement. This sperm is consists of any cilia? No, right? This sperm is not having any cilia. Is the sperm is amoeboid movement, which is nothing but pseudopodia? Is the sperm is having any pseudopodia? It's like moving like this? No. Is the sperm is having any muscles? No. Is the sperm not having any muscles? Sperm having one tail, which is called as flagella. So the answer is what? Flagellary movement. Flagellary movement is the answer for the sperm motility. Right? Understands? These four questions also very simple, straightforward questions. Right? Understand? We'll go to next question. Natural selection. Coming to the evolution, they are asking natural selection. Natural selection can lead to what? Can lead to stabilization, can lead to genetic drift, can lead to directional change, can lead to disruption. So the answer is, it cannot lead to genetic drift, it can lead to directional change, it can lead to disruption. We studied three graphs just looking like this. This is one graph, this is another graph, this is another graph. Right? Option A, B, C. Here option A is what? Stabilization. Due to this natural selection, everything was done at one high peak. This is stabilization. Due to this natural selection, we can accept disruption. Right? There are two extreme ends are bifurcated, disruption, and one extreme end is far away. So it is directional. So these three are the causes of natural selection. There is no involvement of the genetic drift. So the answer is what? A, C, D. So in our mock test, in our classes, we discussed many times of this directional selection, natural selection, such as these three things. We have discussed it with examples also, right? Done. Coming to this next question, you see, arrange the following in descending order of number of species in Amazonian rainforest. So we have Amazon rainforest. In rainforest, what are the species are going to there from highest order, highest number to lowest number in decreasing order? What is that? First, definitely invertebrates. Right? Definitely first invertebrates. So with this option, simple, you can easily answer this question. Right? Descending order they were asking, right? So after that invertebrates, what are they? Plants. After that plants, what are they? Fishes. Fishes after birds. Birds after mammals. So mammals are few in number, whereas these invertebrates are more in number. So they are asking from more to few, descending order. If they are asking from ascending order, this is the sequence, then the option is this thing. But they are asking descending order, so the option is option 2. Is there any doubt? Is there any doubt? No, right? The option is 2. Very clear. Done. Now they are asking another statement from this ovulation thing. Ovulation is caused by LH surge leading to rupture of Graafian follicle. Is it right? Is it right? Yes. Whenever this Graafian follicle attains maturity, what happens? Due to LH, luteinizing hormone, high levels of luteinizing hormone, what happens? Graafian follicle is going to rupture. Whenever it rupture, it releases what? Ovum or secondary oocyte, right? This process is called as what, friends? Ovulation. Because of the high peaks of LH, it's called as LH surge, it leads to rupture of Graafian follicle. Done. Done. Now statement 2, they are telling Graafian follicle remaining after ovulation transforms into corpus luteum. Exactly correct. Now this ovum is released and this Graafian follicle, it transformed into what, friends? Corpus luteum. Now this corpus luteum will secrete some hormones. What is that hormone? They are telling that secrete large amount of estrogen. Is it true? Is it large amount of estrogen? No, right? Is it large amount of what? Progesterone. Is it large amount of progesterone? So definitely statement 2 is wrong statement. So the answer here is statement 1 is correct, whereas statement 2 is incorrect. Understand? Very simple question from this reproduction, menstrual cycle reproduction, right? Now we'll see next question. Which of the following are primary consumers? Simple question, primary consumers in a food chain. In food chain, if you see, the first one is producers. Producers. After producers, these are the plants which can eaten by herbivores, and this was eaten by carnivores, right? These are what? Producers. These are primary consumers. So these are what? Secondary consumers. Above this carnivorous, they may be omnivorous, those are called as tertiary consumers. So the primary consumers are what, friends? Herbivorous. The answer is herbivorous. Understand why it is herbivorous? Herbivorous will eat plants, so that's why they are consuming plants. We cannot even though we can consume plants also, the primary consumers are what, friends? Herbivorous only. Understand? Right? Next, going to another question such as this endocrinology related thing. They are giving some hormones and they are giving some functions. They want to match these list 1 with list 2. We'll see. Excess growth hormone. The growth hormone was excess, which means overstimulated. Then what happens? It can cause acromegaly. Right? Acromegaly is the condition due to the excess hormone. The face look like balls kind of thing. Just now we discussed luteinizing hormone. LH hormone is causing what, friends? Ovulation. LH hormone is causing what, friends? Ovulation. The next, vasopressin. Vasopressin is also called as what? Is also called as ADH. Vasopressin is also called as what? ADH. This ADH is, what is the function of this ADH? ADH function is reabsorption of water electrolytes in kidney. Whenever the water electrolytes are required, this ADH is going to release, and this ADH is reabsorb the water electrolytes in kidney. We know, we studied in excretion. And also, what is the function of oxytocin? Oxytocin function is contraction of uterus during childbirth. So the option is 2. Understand what is the option? Option is 2. Why the option is 2? Understand what is respect to functions of all these hormones. Very simple, right? Good. We'll move to next question. Right. The opening between the right atrium, right ventricle is guarded by, right? You see, this is the heart. So here it is right atrium. We have right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle. This right atrium and right ventricle is guarded by something, and left atrium and left ventricle is guarded by something. So what is that wall which is guarding right atrium with right ventricle? What is that? Tricuspid wall. And here it is what? Bicuspid wall. Left atrium, left ventricle. Very simple question they were asked from this circulation structure of heart, right? These semilunar walls are present here, and sinoatrial node is present is here, right? It is present in right atrium. Understand? This is not opening of this right atrium, right ventricle. It is opening of this aortic arches, right? So this is a wrong option. Sinoatrial node is also wrong option. Bicuspid wall is present on left atrium and left ventricle. Tricuspid wall is the correct option. Understand? Next question from invertebrates. Sponges exchange of O2 with CO2. The sponges respiration is done by what? It's done by just simple diffusion over their entire body surface. Just a simple diffusion. There is no tissue, there is no organ, there is no organ system. There is only cellular level of organization. With the help of the cells of the body surface, it is going to exchange of gases. There is no moist cuticle, there is no trachea, tubes, there is no gills. It is just a cellular level of organization. It is just a simple diffusion. Understand why the option simple diffusion? Right. Now, the muscle contraction is initiated by a signal sent by the central nervous system by the release of what? So, whenever the muscle contraction happens, this neuron is going to release something neurotransmitters, and then this muscle is going to depolarize. What is that, friends? Acetylcholine. Acetylcholine. The option cyclic AMP, cyclic GMP, acetyl coenzyme A. These are not at all involved in this the muscle and neuromuscular junction. This is neuron, this is muscle. There is no involvement of this neuromuscular junction. Acetylcholine is the one which is released by this nervous system, initiating what? Muscle contraction. Understand? Muscle contraction. Done. Now, sorry. Which of the following statements about lacoperon is correct? Which of the following statements about lacoperon is correct? See, gene I is constitutively expressed. Next, lactose activates repressor to bind the operator. Is it? Gene I, Z, Y and A share single common promoter? No, right? Galactose can act as inducer of lacoperon. So in this, what are the wrong statement? You can see galactose is not an acts as inducer. Here lactose is acts an inducer for this lacoperon. Whereas coming to this IZY, they are not having single common ancestor. I is repressor, whereas ZY having another promoter. So these both are having different promoters. Whereas coming to this lactose activates repressor? No, right? So from this lacoperon, from this I, repressor will come. Right? Repressor will come. Then what happens? Then this lactose will go and bind with repressor and hold and prevent this repressor bind with operator. Repressor to bind the operator. It is not activate, it is inactivate repressor to bind with operator. And gene I is constitutively expressed. So gene I, this repressor is going always expressed. Whenever the lactose is there, the repressor will bind, the lactose will bind the repressor, and this repressor will not able to go and bind with operator. So the first option is correct. And you understand why 2, 3, 4 options are incorrect. So this lactose inactivates repressor, it's not activates repressor. And gene I, ZY are having different promoters, not single promoter. Here they have one promoter, here the structural genes also having one promoter. Here one promoter is there, here one promoter is there. And not galactose, it is lactose. Understand why these options are wrong? The option is option 1. Understand? You can easily eliminate the options, and wherever the remaining option is there, that will be definitely correct option, right? If you clearly eliminate all the 3 wrong options only, right? Next one. Which of the following statements about the reabsorption process in loop of Henle are correct? From excretion they were asking. So we know, right? So PCT and this is all glomerulus, and this is afferent arteriole, this is efferent arteriole, this is Bowman's capsule, this Bowman's capsule lead to PCT, and now this is the loop of Henle, and again DCT and collecting duct. Understand? We know the structure, right? We'll see what happens. The descending limb of loop of Henle is permeable to water but almost impermeable to electrolytes. Is it right? Yes. This is descending limb, this is ascending limb. This is descending limb, this is ascending limb. Here it is permeable to what, friends? Water. But here it is permeable to electrolytes such as sodium kind of thing. Here it is not permeable to salt. Here it is not permeable to water. We know this thing. According to this statement is correct statement, right? This statement is correct statement. Urine get concentrated in Henle's loop. Is it right? Urine get concentrated in Henle's loop. Yes, right. This urine, because of this property, we have another thing which is called as counter current mechanism. With the help of the counter current mechanism in Henle's loop, we are getting this urine concentration. Understand? Second option is also right statement, right? Coming to this third option, you see reabsorption of sodium and water takes place in loop of Henle. Here there a little bit of confusion is there. They are telling that this entire loop of Henle is responsible for the water and sodium reabsorption. No, friends, it is not the loop of Henle. Only descending loop of Henle is responsible for the water. Only ascending loop of Henle responsible for the sodium. That's why this C statement is wrong statement. That's why the C statement is wrong statement. Understand? Now coming to the option D, active or passive transport of electrolytes occur in ascending limb of loop of Henle. Exactly correct statement. If you see, I will enlarge this diagram. If you see this descending limb, there are two parts. This is thin part, this is thick region. In thin region, passive reabsorption, whereas in thick region, active transport will take place. So that's why this option is also very correct statement. Active or passive transport of electrolytes occurs in ascending limb. So if you eliminate this C option, so option A, B, D are correct statements. Option A, B, D are correct statements. Understand why this C is wrong? Why this C is wrong? Loop of Henle is not responsible for the both water and sodium. Descending is responsible for the water, ascending is responsible for the sodium. Let's wait for the entire result, then we'll see what is the correct option they will give for this question. Okay. Next, which of the following is the correct order of arrangement of vertebrae? For vertebrae, they have asked two questions, right? In first question, they have asked the number of vertebrae. Here they are asking what is the order of vertebrae. There only we saw what is first one cervical vertebrae, next one thoracic vertebrae, next one lumbar vertebrae, next one sacrum. First is cervical, thoracic, lumbar and sacrum. This fourth option is the correct statement. Understand this question? These two questions are also very good questions, doable questions only. Next, which of the following is not evidence of evolution? Which of the following is not evidence of evolution? They are telling that which of the following is not correct. Simply which of the following is not correct. Convergent evolution of traits like wings of birds and butterflies. They're telling that wings of birds and butterflies are convergent evolution. And also paleontological evidence for fossil records. Yes, the study of fossils is called as paleontology. So option 2 is correct statement. Divergent evolution of anatomical structures such as forelimbs. So these two are direct examples. These two are direct examples. Whereas if you observe these three, embryological support of evolution as proposed by Ernest Haeckel. This is wrong statement, right? So that's why option 3 is the correct one. Understand? Right. Now coming to this another question, there is one statement which is called as modern Homo sapiens arose in Australia and moved across all countries. Is it correct statement? No. Modern Homo sapiens arose in not Australia, it is Africa. It is Africa. So statement 1 is wrong. We'll see statement 2. Homo sapiens arose around 700 to 10,000 years ago. This is also wrong statement. So option 4, statement 1 is incorrect. Statement 2, sorry, yes, Homo sapiens, okay, Homo sapiens arose 75,000 to 10,000 years ago, right? So that's why this is correct statement. Yes, this is correct statement. Statement 1 is incorrect, whereas statement 2 is correct. Two options are very clear. So based on this evolution concept, so this is not done by Ernest Haeckel and this is not Australia, it is Africa, right? Next question. So consider a population of 10 million, their birth rate and also death rate was given, which is exactly same, 0.002. This is also birth rate, this is also death rate. So in a population of 10 million, consider there is a population of 10 million, the number of individuals which are coming into this population, the number of individuals which are going from this population, which is nothing but birth rate, death rate are equal, then what happens? There is no change in that population, right? Just simple, I have 10 apples in my basket and I put one apple and take another apple. Then now how many apples are there? Same question, 10 apples only. Likewise, there is 10 millions in this population. The birth rate is coming, death rate is going, is exactly same. Then what is the answer? They are asking the expected number of cells after 10 generations. After 10 generations, how many generations the birth and death rate are same? The answer is 10 million only. The answer is 10 million only. How many generations the birth rate, death rate is the same? There should be same number of individuals will be present. Understand? Right. Another question. During PCR, they are telling during PCR, primers bind to DNA stand at what step? So in PCR, how many steps? The first step is denaturation. Second step is annealing. Third step is extinction. What happens in denaturation? Denaturation, what happens? Separation of strands. Whenever the strands are separated, then only the primers are going to added in what phase? Annealing phase. After the primers are adding, what happens? DNA polymerase will synthesize the strand, that is called as extinction. So here the primers are adding at what phase? Annealing phase. Understand? Very simple question, annealing phase. In previous 2026 cancel exam, they asked that the sequence of PCR, denaturation, annealing, extinction. Here they asking that annealing, what will happen? In annealing, what will happen? PCR will bind. Done. Right? Next question. The logistic growth model of population is considered more realistic than exponential model. Right. This is actually correct statement. So why it is actually correct statement is, see, resources are finite. Is it resources are finite? If it is resources are finite, is nothing but definite. then we cannot say logistic growth model of population is considered more realistic than the exponential growth model. Actually, resources are finite for what? Exponential growth. Logistic growth, resources are unlimited. Resources are unlimited. So A and R are right, but R is not a correct explanation of A. A and R are right, but R is not correct explanation of A. Understand why? Now we'll move to next question. Adaptive radiation in placental mammals and Australian marsupials leads to similarity between distant species is an example of convergent evolution. Direct example of convergent evolution they give. Right. Next one. Which of the following are secondary lymphoid organs? They are asking secondary lymphoid organs. We know, right, primary lymphoid organs. What are primary lymphoid organs? Bone marrow, thymus. Bone marrow, thymus are what? Primary lymphoid organs. Whereas remaining tonsils and spleen are what? Secondary lymphoid organs. The option is 2. Very simple. Primary lymphoid organs are bone marrow and thymus. Secondary lymphoid organs are tonsils, spleens, and what? Peyer's patches, malt, lymph nodes. All these are what? Secondary lymphoid organs. Understand? Next. Which of the following hormone, see, which of the following hormone is not secreted by human placenta? So we have placenta. From this placenta, what are the hormones that are going to secrete? What is not going to secrete? We'll see. Placenta is secreting HCG, right? Progesterone, right? Estrogen. Whereas coming to this LH, LH is going to secrete from placenta? No, right? LH we have in ovulation. In ovulation also we have LH. So this LH is luteinizing hormone is going from this glands. We have follicle stimulating hormones, LH hormone from pituitary glands. So this LH is not correct option here. It is not secreted by human placenta. Understand this question? Next. Forelimbs of human and bats are homologous. From this homologous, analogous, convergent evolution, divergent evolution, we have given very clear-cut examples in our mock test, in our classes. So this is very correct explanation. Forelimbs of humans and bats are homologous, whereas forelimbs of humans and bats have similar anatomical structure, right? Similar anatomical structure, and this similar anatomical structure with two different functions. So this is divergent evolution. Different anatomical structures with similar function, it is called as convergent evolution. So these two are correct explanations. Understands? These two are correct explanations. Both A and R are correct. R is the correct explanation of A. Right? So next one, colostrum. In colostrum, what type of antibody? Just simple. IgA is the antibody. It is present in all secretions. IgG is present where? It is crossing placenta. IgM is the primary immune response, right? Understand? IgD also one type of antibody, right? Understand these two equations? Done. We'll move. Right. Another thing, there is a tortoise called Abigodon tortoise in Galapagos Islands become extinct within a decade after goats were introduced. It is the example of invasion of alien species. Whenever these goats are introduced into the particular population, this tortoise is going to die. Now, goats were more efficient at browsing than albino tortoise. Is this correct explanation? Is this right? Yes. Because of this, goats are very efficient. This tortoise does not having any food, they are going to die. So both A and R correct. R is the correct relation of A. Understand? There are also simple question. Now, the covering of ovum at ovulation, right? Whenever the ovulation happens, there is ovum. In this ovum, there is a layer. This layer is called as what? Zona pellucida. above this zona pellucida there are some cells, these are called as corona radiata, but corona radiata is not a layer, it is a cellular, but so it's not a layer, but this zona pellucida is a layer which is present above this ovum. Understand? The answer is zona pellucida. There is no zona radiata, it is corona radiata. Endometrium, it is not covering of ovum, it is the layer of human vagina, human female reproductive system, right? Understand why the option zona pellucida is correct? Done? Right. Now this is one question, very simple question. You can easily correlate with list 2 or list 1 or list 1 or list 2. Very simple. Both species are harmed, which is called as minus minus. Minus minus is present in where? Competition. One species is harmed, another species is benefited, which is nothing but plus and minus. Plus and minus. This thing. Predation, right? Both species are benefited, plus and plus, mutualism. One species is benefited while other has no effect, plus and zero. You can think commensalism. So the answer is 4. With the help of this negative this signs also you can easily answer this question. Very important, very doable question, very simple question, right? Next one. Which of the following is used as effective sedative and painkiller for treating post-surgical patients? We using morphine. It's an alkaloid. We discussed TDA abuse and we discussed in drugs and alcohol. This morphine is the painkiller, right? Very good question. And which of the following statements are correct? They are telling which of the following statements are correct. We'll see. Energy flow from producer to consumer is unidirectional, right? From these producers, all the energy is going to transfer in unidirectional only. Energy pyramid can never be inverted. See, energy pyramid is always this thing because there is a law called 10% law. Because of 10% law, here if it is 100, it will come here 10, here 0.1, 0.01. So that was the law. That's why it's always this straight pyramid, this thing pyramid like structure, it cannot be inverted, and transfer of energy follows not 1% law, it is 10% law. So that's why here A and B are correct statements. Understand why the C is wrong. C is mentioning that 1% law, but it is not 1% law, it is 10% law. Understand? Done. And next question. Which of the following statement is correct about plasmodium, human health and diseases? They are telling that reproduce sexually in liver cells. No, right? Reproduce asexually in liver cells and reproduce asexually in RBC. These two are wrong statements. Gametocytes develop in mosquito gut? No, not in mosquito gut. It is developed in human. Fertilization takes place in mosquito gut. That was the correct statement. Fertilization takes place in mosquito gut, right? Understand? Next, this is the most important question. So many times we discuss. Transformation is nothing but what? Transfer of DNA to host bacteria. Cloning site having what kind of thing? It is having palindromic sequences to cut restriction enzymes, to cut by the restriction enzymes. Selection, we can use antibiotic. Oocyte is for replication. Oocyte is for replication. Option 1 is the correct statement. Option 1 is the correct statement. Is there any doubts? No, right? Now the final question we'll see. In recombinant DNA technology, lysosomes is used for disrupting bacterial cells while cellulase is for plant cell. Exactly correct statement. By using of lysosomes, we can disrupt the membrane of these bacteria cells. By using cellulase, we can disrupt for plant cells, right? this isolation of genetic material needs rupture of cells. Yes, if you want to remove this, if you want to isolate the genetic material such as DNA, you need to disrupt the cells, you need to disrupt the membranes of the cells, you need to homogenize this tissue, you need to extract this DNA by disrupting the cells. So the answer is both A and R are correct, and R is the correct explanation of A. See, we have discussed many number of questions, and all questions are very good, very doable questions. Very simple one also, coming from zoology part. From botany part, madam will discuss, and from zoology part we have got very simple questions for our very simple questions. Understand? So we can stop this. We have completed all the zoology questions. Understand? I hope you are clear with all the solutions. We'll meet in next session, right? Thank you.